Jungkook had always been a rebel here, an outsider by blood, an adopted son who carried the Jones family crest, but not its poisoned veins. Yet he was chosen by his ancestors to rule the throne, or he made them choose him. Celeste was the princess of the house, younger, delicate, the only child his mother, Evelyn, ever bore. She was beautiful, soft spoken, but with that cold, patient cunning that matched her mother's perfectly. When Jungkook married Ryan, the house trembled, a decision he took going against the family. It was like declaring war against them, especially when he was an adopted heir and didn't belong by blood. How dare someone who didn't hold the Jones blood go against the orders? Even the Jones themselves weren't allowed to go against the orders, and that's exactly why Jungkook has always been the rebel child. Vine wasn't a Joan, by blood or by wealth, but she was everything the family feared, sharp-minded, iron-willed, and not afraid of the shadows in the marble halls. Do you not get the vibe that some blood is going to be spilled tonight? Plus, it's full moon. I suddenly feel like I'm living a werewolf fantasy. Mika said, as he stood by the doorframe, arms crossed and eyes on the lady, his lady, who stood before the mirror. He was waiting to escort her as soon as she got ready. Wine, you've started to read too much fiction. Mika, you should have seen the look on your husband's face before he left. Wine turned after she was fully prepared for the night in her elegant red dress, straight jet black hair, and diamonds which adorned her neck and ears, chin held high. Wine, so, who do you think is going to be the one who spills the blood? Mika smirked as he leaned off the doorframe. Mika, never them. Not in John's presence. The pride in Wine's eyes was enough for an answer, as she stepped out and he followed her to escort her to the dining room. Once Wine entered the room, the air was more suffocating than he expected it to be. It has always been this way. This house she married into was nothing but a game of children obeying, elders throwing ruthless commands, and blood being spilled. It was nothing like an ordinary family, yet Wine remained the most confident of them all, because she had a man who was the heir, the king, who owned the throne. With a graceful smile, she greeted everybody a good evening and took a seat beside her husband. Wine saw how her husband, Jungkook, broke that murderous glare and looked at her with soft eyes and kissed her hand with such a soft touch she could melt there. Wine, did I take long? She did, definitely on purpose, and that was enough to already anger the elders, especially Eva, Jungkook's mother. Eva already hated Wine, and Wine loved getting on her nerves. Jungkook, you could take longer. One smiled. She was the only one smiling because someone who didn't even belong to John's family by blood was unleashed. Truly made them furious. Eva started to speak again. The conversation continued, but Vine's eyes shifted to Mika. He made a face which told her he was hardly keeping himself from mocking Eva. The eye roll and little wiggle he did with his shoulders made Vine laugh. Eva, is something funny? Wine, not at all. So, if I'm not mistaken, you're proposing that my husband divorce me and marry your daughter instead. Eva, Celeste is going to bring him a fortune which a mere girl like you cannot. He was young when he married you. He fulfilled his fantasy. Now it's time he started acting like the head of the family he is. Wine, I see. So we're getting down to the titles here. Wine picked up her glass of wine and took a sip, receiving a glare from Eva for speaking back. No one was allowed to speak before the elders. They were only expected to listen. Wine, Jungkook is the head of the family. In that way, do you understand? I, Wine, as his wife, stand above every single of you. She could choose better words, but she didn't. They needed to know their place. Eva slammed her hand over the table and stood up angrily. Gasps escaped the rest of the family. Eyes wide, brain still processing the disrespect by Jungkook. He only had the smirk on his lips. A dangerous couple, nothing but rebellious. Eva, how dare you? Is that the woman you want me to accept as your daughter-in-law? Jungkook, you heard her. He shrugged. Eva, I'm your mother. You're going to do what I tell you to. Ryan felt Jungkook's hand on her shoulder dragging her to her neck, his eyes directly on Celeste as he pulled Wine against him and kissed her. His challenging eyes lingered on Celeste for a while longer before he closed them and kissed Wine like a man is supposed to kiss his wife. Wine smirked, held his shoulders. Jungkook pulled back, kissed her chin, then moved down to her throat and breathed in. Wine's eyes traveled to Mika once. Maybe the fiction wasn't that bad. The blood surely spilled. A wound more deeper than any physical injury he could inflict on them. Kissing his wife wasn't a problem, but doing it when he was expected to divorce and that too in front of the whole family was the biggest respect he could ever bring them. Jungkook, that's my answer to you. Try to bring this topic one more time in front of me and I'll show you. My patience isn't limited, unlike my authority. Abba, you'll regret this. How dare you insult me like this? I gave you a family. Jungkook, I earned my spot here and gave you a kingdom. I married Ryan and I don't need your name to give her. And Celeste? Even if we are not siblings by blood, but I've always considered her my younger sister. She's not someone I'll let you taint like this. Celeste looked away with flushed cheeks and cracks in her eyes, a burden lifting off her shoulders. Oh, is that why an older brother is a necessity, even if he's not related to you by blood? Jungkook, you may take your leave. Eva stormed away, anger filling up her veins as she threw everything on her way. Celeste looked at Jungkook only once, with an apologizing gaze before leaving as well. Not 2 minutes later, Mika came back after escorting them out. Wine, what? Mika, I have decided to do a part-time job. Jungkook, I'm allowing you to go and do a full-time job after you resign. Now leave. Mika, pause. That's not how it's supposed to go. You're supposed to ask me about my idea. Fine, alright. Calm down, you two. What's your idea? Mika, I've discovered my talent for astrology. I can earn a great sum of money from that. Ah, money shall never stop. If it was a manga, his nose would be reaching the sky by how proudful he was in that moment. Wine, if anyone gives you a great sum of money to betray us, what will. Mika, I'll take it. With my whole heart. Jungkook's expressions didn't look too great to take it even as a joke. Mika, take the money and return home and spill. The money will be ours and so will be the information. Fine, I raised you well. Mika laughed awkwardly. Jungkook glared at him without blinking. Mika started coughing dramatically, looking for water and rushed out of the room. Once Mika was out of the frame, Wine took a seat on Jungkook's lap, her eyes softening as she cupped Jungkook's cheeks and rested her head against his. Wine, love you so much. Jungkook softened up immediately. He took her in his embrace and dug his face in the crook of her neck. Rebellion against the Jones family didn't equal troublemaking. It always came with a cost, and he was ready to pay anything, as long as he got to keep her. Jungkook, I'm never letting anyone take you away from me. I chose you for me, and I'm going to keep you forever. Mine closed her eyes. That was all the love she needed in this toxic environment. As long as she had him, she could face the whole world.